Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. Today promises to be a very interesting one, very enlightening one actually. We're going to be talking about quite a number of things at the bar today. First things first, the news I think that broke yesterday afternoon, evening. The whole day we've been hearing a lot of gist about it, but this one was confirmed yesterday as we have a new acting Inspector General of Police. There's been a lot of talk about the former one and the one right now, so we're going to be talking about that in depth. A lot of people think that has influenced the sudden change by the president, who he is and why he was picked. And a lot of conversation around it. We're going to be talking about it. Also, El-Rufai and the federal government matter is not going anywhere anytime soon. As an update on Mike Ozekhome's case that we talked about yesterday, the federal government pulling out of that case, there's interesting news that we're going to be talking about that. There's more updates on that we're going to be talking about. As football season, the Champions League playoffs definitely gave us something to watch, so we're definitely going to be looking at those things as well. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show with us today. My name is Dolupo, and with me in the studio is Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Bomba. Let's go. It's a very, very whiling Wednesday. Some people are whiling.
What?
Yeah, they be whiling, which is aka wilding.
How did we get? Who's wilding now?
You're about to find out. In 3, 2, 1, lift off.
What? Okay, are we sure that something is not? Anyway, for people, so basically, first conversation that we're definitely going to be talking about is what happened with the Inspector General of Police. So there's been, I think I saw that news in the morning where Mr. Sahara Reporters, or the owner of Sahara Reporters, decided to post some very interesting news about that the IG has been replaced by somebody else. Funny thing is that after a few hours there were talks of a lot of those things, and there was also talks of the fact that yes, that information might have been privileged information. However, I'm not sure that some people know what privileged information means, and the man decided to say it. And a few hours down the line, the first news that we got that was from official quarters was that the Inspector General had resigned. Then there was an announcement by the presidential spokesperson and then the president himself on social media platforms that there was now a new IG, all in one day.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday during the bar. We also insinuated that it was going to be Tunji Disu, and it turned out to be the privileged information, like Dolupo was referring to. At times in the media, apart from leaks happen everywhere, but at times in the media you have news that you are told to sit on until an appropriate time or until when you are allowed to release it. Either way, if someone breaches that, shouldn't there be consequences? Shouldn't there be some form of adjustments? I'm just saying. But back to the matter, the new acting Inspector General of Police, on a personal level, is someone I believe is duly qualified. And
well, before we go to his person, let's first go back. Let's go back to the conversation of the now former Inspector General of Police.
Okay.
Now, remember that there's been a bit of controversy. Started with should he have retired or not have retired? There was conversation that his tenure should have elapsed at a certain age. Apparently, it was a law about either you do 35 years or you reach a certain age that
60.
you should
60.
retire.
Yeah, 60.
And there wasn't conversation of that. Then there was also now another bill that was now sent by the president. I think it was an amendment on the Police Act, saying that if the person has been appointed before they get to retire, they should use up their
4 years.
the 4-year term or tenure, which he started with, which he has not now finished. Because now my own question is, if the president could go to that length to make sure that, okay, he does, and he's resigned now, why go through that length? Why didn't he just let him retire when he was supposed to? Also, remember lately there's been a lot of allegations from a certain media quarters where there's been allegations against the IG and I think his son as well. So now, or when you add all those things together, could we say that's part of the reasons why the man retired, or Nigeria's security apparatus or the Nigerian security situation in itself is just a lot, and the president feels that he needs somebody more competent, and he feels that, at this point, Kayode Egbetokun, who there's been conversations about how what people call a Tinubu boy. Do you understand? Like, maybe this person is not worthy of, this person does not have the capability anymore. Is that the president has lost faith in what he's been doing, and he feels that he needs to pick somebody else?
It could be all of those things. It could be some of them. It could be anything, actually. But it's obvious that the selection of people to those positions is not only about competence or rank or position. Okay. It's also about trust. It's also about relationships, which you can decide to call political if you want. You can say, for political reasons, you want this person or that person. And we saw all of this coming when we started seeing all of those data about the place where the past 22 or thereabout IGs were from, and who made them IG, under which tenure and all of that. We even mentioned it yesterday. If you can, go through it. I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. It would be very sad if any of those allegations against him are actually true. And the reason why I'm saying that is that not long ago, in fact, in recent history, a lot of security operatives, the top echelon, have been found wanting. They've been indicted or accused. There was a young person who was in I think it was EFCC. Was it EFCC or which one? No, it wasn't ICPC. The young guy. I think it was EFCC, right?
It was EFCC.
Look at how it played out. And the funny thing is, nobody's talking about that case anymore. That's one of the things that we also do in this country. We just let things slide. It will just go through the cracks, and that's the end of that. You can complain all you want, but ain't nobody going to do anything about it, because maybe the powers that be have said, just let it go. Don't worry, Nigerians will soon forget. They know they take before they find another drama we then go talk about. If that is the case, it's a very sad situation for us as a country. But in this particular matter, anything you like to call Showore, call him. But I saw a video of the first PRO, and in that video, the submission is that yes, indeed, some money, a large sum of money, according to what Showore had alleged, and according to the confirmation and denial from the first PRO, I think that is Udain, that 100 million naira was paid into the IGP's son, Egbetokun's son's account. If that is the case, he said he had reported it and the money was sent back. Of course, Shore counter accused them again of saying they got cash or blah, blah, blah. So a lot of back and forth. And the guy is said to have offered up his account details for investigation and everything. But let's just say it was mistakenly paid. Why your account? Why was 100 million naira mistakenly paid into the account of the son of the Inspector General of Police? Why? Why not Dolupo's account?
They know it's to seize someone's. It cannot be Dolupo's account.
Why not my account? Then I see the money. I say, oh, I don't deserve this money. I didn't work for it. Why did whoever pay? Then I'll go and report to the bank and they will reverse it and all of that. Do you understand? Why the IGP son and why is a particular state sharing money into it? I don't know. Except they're going to tell us that he's a contractor and he's been doing that, like whatever line of work that he's been doing is what he's been doing. If it's not any of those things, this might be the reason why the IG was told to resign. You know, because they had secured for him an extension.
Yeah, which he should have just retired.
And he's only done barely 2 years of that extension. And he's supposed to see out 4 years. Even if people felt it was controversial, for someone like Shore was calling the IGP names that I would not repeat. You know.
And then for it to not end like this,
I know that laws can be amended, but it's obvious that out of the blue, the IGP.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw that.
A few days ago, they were still at the police games at somewhere in Delta.
Yeah, nobody saw it coming. All of a sudden,
it was still the day before. He was still having meetings.
Yeah.
Go and check their social media. Police, they are posting out.
If it wasn't a sudden thing, we would have maybe seen a progression of events and all that. So it was really, really, really sudden.
So it might be that his son is culpable. I hope he is not, for just the sake of their good name, if they have it, or else. It is a beautiful thing that someone who might be corrupt is being removed, especially someone who's supposed to be a crime fighter. But let it go beyond resignation. If this man is indeed culpable of any crime whatsoever, he has to pay. He has to pay. Yeah. But if he's not, he should enjoy his retirement in peace.
Kuku should have retired anyway. Anyway, now moving on from that, and now let's move on to the new IG. Now, or acting IG, as the case may be.
As usual.
It's this conversation is also now controversial, as the acting IG is, or used to be before yesterday afternoon, it was an assistant inspector general of police.
AIG.
At when it was AIG, at least there are 8 DIGs, 8 of them that were seniors. Wakes up yesterday and it becomes everybody's boss.
Which is normal in the military and paramilitary. For instance, there's a name everybody has been throwing around, Frank Umba. And there's actually a Nigerian law that insists that every region in Nigeria should have a police officer,
at least one
a ranking officer at that DIG level. And Frank Umba was more or less double promoted.
Yeah, I think that there was before he became DIG, I think he was promoted 3 times in just a couple of months. Not because of anything, because from his region he was the only most senior at this point. In fact, I'd read it that some of his mates are still deputy commissioners of police.
Yeah, I remember when he was in Lagos, a couple of fantastic policemen when he was here in Lagos. The same with the new acting IG, you know, extremely sporty human being. He's a judoka. As at 2 years ago, he was still at the US Open and he got a medal, like maybe it was a silver or bronze medal or something. You know, even his children are also into the same sport and everything. I see him as one of those people that, if given a free hand, can actually wrought some change or bring some change in the police. But there's a problem also. If it is 35 years, I know as at 2024 they were trying to change the law to 40 years service time for policemen. Then maybe the 60, they'll probably increase it to 65 or something. I don't know. But if it is 35 years, and it is said that he joined the police in 1992.
It has 1.5 years left. However, if we go by the law that has been signed, it has to finish his tenure.
And it's so back to the same matter. Why do they all have to be the two IGs that President Tinubu has appointed? Why do they all have to be like quarter to go, but they have to do 4 years?
In Egbetoku's case, it was that what happened. But now, in this case, there's already a standing law anyway, so I don't think that conversation will come up. The conversation more is that, and for first, when you had talked about Frank Mba, and I went to do a little bit of digging. In fact, Frank Mba is not the most senior DIG.
Of course.
Let's start from that.
It was bumped up now. We were saying it before.
So, even if they were going by rank, it wouldn't still have been Frank Mba anyway. Now, there's also the conversation that the president is being, there's some level of nepotism in the matter. Because if I'm guessing, so I don't know if, I know that happens in the military. I don't know if that happens in the police force where all these DIGs might have to retire. I'm not sure about if that happens. I've not heard of it since yesterday. If they were going to retire, I probably...
No, a lot of people have been saying that.
I don't know if they're going to retire. At times, some of these laws vary from place to place. So it might not be as strict as the way it is in the way it is in the army. But now, would we say that the president are these things really truly should be about rank, or the person you think can do the job? If we go by this man's antecedents of when he was in Lagos, he was the head of the RRS, and even after leaving the RRS, I can still say that even in Lagos now, there's still there's a level of hope when you see the RRS compared to the regular police force. When he was moved to Rivers State, then he was moved to Abuja as Commissioner of Police and all that. I think he's back in he was actually back in Lagos. He's the AIG in charge of the for CID in Lagos. So now, do we say that it was? Can we say that it was more about the competence and the things that it has been seen that he has done over? The president just wants his own person there.
I think I'd actually said this already, that in picking those kind of people, in selecting them, you look at competence, you look at their rank and their position, but you also look at trust, you look at relationship, and that's why I was referring to that. These are the things that formed the nucleus of whatever decisions that are made. Most times, there are people that some of these politicians have known. At times, there are people that are brought to them or recommended to them as, those are the people that fall into the category of someone that you can promote to this level. The Inspector General of Police is like a service chief of sorts. He's not military, but he's more or less like that, and it's a very sensitive position, and everybody picks who they trust. I think that's what President Tinubu has done, and all the talk of nepotism would never go away. It's always going to be there, and if you look at it, it's almost like they're not really talking about it. When I say there, I mean the critics who are saying, Tinubu is picking someone that he knows because they're from the same place, so that's why he's picked him. But I think the only president that's really not picked people per se from his place was Goodluck Jonathan and Yar'Adua. I think that, Yar'Adua was majorly sickly, so we get that. But he did make 1 or 2 appointments in that category. But for Obasanjo, all his IGPs were from the Southwest, virtually all of them. I think he walked through about 3 or 4 of them, you get. And for Buhari, same. The bulk of the IGs that served Buhari were from the North.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you go close to the force, to the police force, and you do a little bit of digging, like people are digging now under Tinubu, you will find that there were other people also who could have been, but they were overlooked for other people. And there can only be one IG. There can be 8 DIGs, but there can only be one IG, you know? So I get that. It would never be perfect. But beyond all the talks of nepotism and whatever, what we should be more concerned is the state of the police, especially the Nigerian police. You know, time after time, you hear things that makes you cringe. Like, oh, but there are times when you also hear a few nice things about the police force. But a lot of the IGs have always come out guns blazing, like talking about tough things.
They are talking tough.
And it just peters out.
It just fizzles out. We don't.
Now, well, at least there's one thing that Tunji Disu has been spared. It's not going to make the same pronouncement that all of them make. that is withdrawing police from
the president
VIP.
has done it for him already.
That every IG in this country, go and if you don't agree, go and Google. They'll say, oh, that they need to get more policemen on board, so they are withdrawing. It's a lie. They are there, you know. And I remember when Egberto Kun was like, oh, thank God this one came from the president, that nobody can pressure him now. Apparently, the last time he tried it, it didn't work. But it was under his tenure that they eventually got recalled and redeployed to other parts of the country. But with Tunji Disu, you know, especially what he did in Ondo, what he did in Delta, what he did in Rivers State, also leading an international mission. You know, I think it was Darfur or something that he was in charge. He's an all-rounder. He's an operations person. He's an all-rounder. And I'm really hoping. But I've learned how to be cautious about.
Time will tell.
Teaches you.
Yeah, you just let's just hold on and let's see. Funny thing is his announcement yesterday. We've not heard Mr. Disu, Mr. New IG. Shouldn't you say something? Shouldn't you address us?
No, you know the kind of way, and I think it's crisis. But of course, they're not going to come out and say, "Oh, it's because we wanted to kick someone out. We found out something was wrong." They won't come out and say that yet, if they ever do. The way he has been brought in, he was just settling into Lagos. He was just transferred to Lagos last week or thereabout. I'm sure it's not up to 2 weeks that he got the appointment to be the leader of the CID in Lagos. And it's the national hub, of course, based in Lagos. So what I see now is a lot of crisis meeting, a lot of debriefing, a lot of handover notes being scribbled here and there, and him really trying to get a load of it, because
a lot of things,
believe it or not, it can be overwhelming. And why would you rush to the media?
I get your point. Anyway, so we definitely will be waiting for what Mr. IG, or what would I say, his pronouncements, his own set of pronouncements. We'll definitely be looking forward to what he wants to do with the police. Anyway, talking about security or insecurity, Ondo residents blocked the Akure Owo Expressway after, I think there were abductions of about 6 worshippers in the police confirmed the abduction of 5 worshippers at a church in Uso by gunmen.
It is scary, especially for someone like me. I was in that neck of woods a couple of weeks ago, barely 2 months ago, and thank God for Johnny Messes. It's becoming scarier by the minute, and the police, just like the new IG now, he has his work cut out for him. I know that they've been recruiting new hands, but that's not going to be the immediate solution. We need a stronger intervention. The army is stretched out. It's time to really look at this state police matter. It shouldn't be that difficult. It's something, it's an idea whose time has come. You know, for better policing, you know, from the local government to the state level, we need to have local police. It's very important.
Like you said, talking about a bit of security or insecurity. Sadly, in Zamfara as well. Thankfully, nobody died, but an IED was said to have been detonated after a trailer loaded with cement was driving across major road.
Here we go again, you know, and IEDs, all of that
on the road.
You know, it shows
That's
you
scary.
The level of penetration by this criminals, these bandits, terrorists that we have that have inflicted our country, and they penetrated different parts of the country, and it's so sad. Thank God that no one died on this one, but we definitely need to step up our policing.
Yes, now let's move on from that. Let's talk about a bit of an update. So yesterday we had talked about how the federal government had withdrawn the case against Mike Ozekhome. There was, according to them, the Attorney General has said that they wanted to look at the case holistically. That's their word, holistically, and then let know what the move forward. Only for us to wake up this morning, and this same government, through the same office of the Attorney General, because for people that do not know, the ICPC had had a case against Mike Ozekhome over alleged property fraud and some paper forgery and all that. Now, the case was moved to the office of the Attorney General, and the Attorney General had withdrawn the case yesterday. Only for us to wake up this morning, and the federal government, through the same Attorney General's office, has now filed a fresh 12-count charge. The one that they withdrew was a 3-count charge. Just wanted to put that out there. A 12-count charge against Chief Mike Ozekhome and a Ponfa Hussaini, also known as Tali Shani, before the Federal High Court over alleged conspiracy, forgery, impersonation, and unlawful control of a property in the United Kingdom.
This time yesterday, when we had this discussion, apparently when that news went out, a lot of people were really mad. They were angry. When someone posted it on, I think one of the agencies posted it on their Facebook, I went to read the comments yesterday evening, and people were going off. Oh, has he joined the APC? And don't touch hand. Shame no they catch you now. Where's the justice? Everybody was mad because they felt that, look, if you were going to take him to court, that means you had proof that you had done something wrong. Yeah. But when you say you're just withdrawing the case, you know, I kept on saying they just withdrew like that. There has to be something, you know. And of course, what the federal government had done, and, you know, quite unfortunately for Dolupo that woke up this morning, this is not a this morning matter. It was last night. And,
it was this morning that I saw it.
And we even published the story on boomradioNG.com. You can go check it out. And it was last night. And when they came with a 12-count charge, I said the Attorney General is not playing at all. Because this is a case against a legal luminary. An SAN
himself, yes.
A man of timber and caliber when it comes to legal matters.
When last did I hear the phrase? Timber and caliber.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. That's such old English.
You're very welcome. You know?
Oh God.
So Mike Ozekhome is not a name that you hear in Nigeria and you just gloss over. You know, it's a very, very big legal entity on his own. And look at how people stood up, lawyers stood up on this matter. And I was already lamenting also that does that mean we're going to outsource justice again? Because justice has to be served, no matter who you are or what you are and what you've done. As long as you've been caught, you have your day in court, and it still is day in court. It's not guilty because these are just allegations, and a lot of the people out there want to assume, especially people that don't like him, that it's a good time for them to kick him now. But no, you have to let him defend himself, and you might just find out he's not culpable. But if he is culpable, it's going to be a big judgment.
Oh, this the funny thing is that reading through the counts is a very detailed one. So let me do a bit of. So counts 1 and 2, the government alleges that the defendants agreed to commit an illegal act of forging a passport and subsequently making the false document, putting dates to it, between May 30th, 2020 and 2021. Count 3 accused them of conspiring in 2022 this people coming down, to use alleged forged passports as genuine to facilitate their claim to the property. Count 4 alleges that they dishonestly used the passport as genuine between 2023 and 2025. Counts 5 to 7 specifically accused Hussaini. Even the former general that had died has been added as co-conspirator. Accused Hussaini of false impersonation and cheating by personation. The prosecution alleges that on or before May 30th, Hussaini falsely represented himself as Tali Shani, described as a fictitious person, and executed an irrevocable power of attorney in that name in connection with the property claim. Count 6 to 8 says Ozekhome is accused of abetting the offenses of impersonation and cheating by personation by jointly executing the irrevocable power of attorney with the alleged fictitious person. Count 9 alleges that Ozekhome sometime in 2022 in Abuja had under his control the property at number 79 Randall Avenue, London, which investigators reasonably suspected was unlawfully obtained. Count 10 further alleged that Ozekhome had under his control £18,000 said to be part of rent accrued from the London Count 11 to 12, the prosecution alleges that all the defendants conspired in 2023 to forge a document belonging to a master Talishani, request for authentication of Nigerian passport over a fictitious person, and falsely represented it as being issued by the Nigerian Immigration Service to report their claim. Mr. Ozekhome, you have your work cut out for you. The ICPC didn't even do this much.
There's actually nothing new if you've been following this case.
No, I'm just saying, even the ICPC was not this detailed, with their. So I think that the man has a lot of work that he has to do. I hope that all the SANs that followed him to court the first time or that represented the first time are up to the task to maybe show that this is not the case. But anyway, we'll definitely see what happens. But still talking about cases in courts, former Governor El-Rufai has now asked the court to stop ICPC, EFCC, and the DSS from blocking his assets.
Oh yeah, it's well within his rights to ask for such things, and it's what you expect that they would do anyway, especially when you are being investigated for alleged embezzlement or fraud. But shouldn't
if you don't have anything to hide, shouldn't you let that investigation go on?
Yeah, they can investigate without freezing his assets, can't they? Just trying to be objective here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's going to happen? He's already with one of their agencies anyway. Is he going to write a check? Would they permit it, or does he have his phone to do transfer, or is he going to tap something allegedly?
Oh, a lot of things might maybe not be in his name.
Yeah,
that could be moved around.
That means they're not his assets if they're not in his name.
In Nigeria, we've seen a lot of those.
How would you say that? Like someone says, they should not freeze his assets. He didn't say don't freeze the assets that are not in my name. Did he say that? He's talking about his assets, and it's well within his right to ask for that. However, the investigators must be able to prove to the court also that they need to have a freeze, and why they need to have that. You know. So I get where they be coming from, but he also has a right to.
I think he kind of preempted them and decided, you know what, let me be the one to do that first.
There might have even been moves, and again, he's very connected. He said it himself. Maybe he already knows that there are moves like that. He might know.
Anyway, court has fixed April 22nd for his arraignment over his case with the DSS, his phone tapping allegations, which I think yesterday there were talks of him saying that it was just conversation. He made a statement that is just, it was
where
just
did he make
talk.
this statement? People are just talking until you hear from him with an official or another video, because we all saw the video.
Yes, we did.
And I keep saying it.
We saw that video.
The anchor of that show was actually giving El-Rufai a soft landing. He was trying to give him a way out, like, and
you know what you're saying is illegal, right?
And he insisted that, yeah, and he went as far as saying that if government can tap people's phones, why can't they tap government's phone?
But are you government? Are you government?
That's different from just talking. That's
are you government? Why would you even say such
that
a
one
thing?
go far. You really go far.
Are you government?
And again, it didn't take him long before allegations of poison being imported by the Office of the National Security Advisor. So it said a whole lot. And for his own sake, you know what I always like? It might not go the way people want it. I always like a situation where someone says these things, and
have proof of it.
And when they say it, you find it incredulous. Like, how can he say that? Mm-hmm. Then they get to court, and he's tendering it. Bim.
You know that those things, as wild as you might seem,
and it's dropping.
Maybe somebody should
evidence.
Do it once, and then let everywhere even scatter, let everywhere
and
blow.
And he's dropping evidence, and the man is dropping evidence. Bam. See, look at purchase receipts. Here's the audio of the recording of what you said. Oh, how did you get it? We'll come to that later. But that's kind of proof that
everywhere first. Let everyone.
Because
most of the time when you hear these things, everybody is just talk.
Too many times. For instance, we've had what was this other paper that tries to be like Sahara Reporters again?
People's Gazette.
People's Gazette actually accused. Not only did they didn't even accuse, they just released an audio recording which is alleged to be Peter Obi.
True. They actually didn't accuse anybody. They just recorded. Yeah,
Peter Obi's voice and Bishop Oyedepo.
Yes.
And in that audio, what we could hear, the voice that sounded like Peter Obi's voice was saying, "This is a religious war. Daddy, speak to your people in Kwara. Yes, daddy. Yes, daddy. Yes, daddy." And when people say, "Oh, this is Peter Obi's voice and this is Oyedepo's voice," Peter Obi said something very profound. He said it's not him, and that he was going to sue People's Gazette. And People's Gazette doubled down and said, "Okay, bring it on." And guess what? It's almost 3 years. No court case. No court case. Let me not point out the others, but I always like a situation where someone says this is proof of what happened. So it would be nice for El-Rufai to actually have proof. And you see, all these people, they go shock. It go shock government. That's what I'm
saying. It will be, maybe funny thing is,
but if you don't have that proof,
I would like to be shocked.
If you don't have that proof, there are laws that you have broken. No,
I would like to be shocked. Thank you very much. Please, if you have evidence, please put it out. I like to be shocked. At least there will be more gist for us to gist about. Thank you very much. God bless you. Anyway, Vice President Atiku Abubakar has now asked the federal government for the whereabouts and health condition of Nasir El-Rufai.
As a concerned citizen and associate, it's well within his own powers also to ask. However,
go to DSS office.
There are no guarantees that there will be a response in the form that he wants and everything. But this is, I think they should be doing more than this for El-Rufai. This is a leader of their party, the ADC, a long-time associate of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. So beyond asking through social media or press releases, I know you had gone to check on him last week after
before
he said he was about to be arrested at the airport and they failed. And someone said something like, they didn't fail. If they really wanted to arrest you, they would have arrested
you. Yeah.
So after all said and done, yes, it's within Alhaji Atiku's right to ask, but I think he should do more than that. I think they need to do more for him.
Go to DSS
it is in the time of trouble that you know who your friends are.
If it's short for you, go to DSS and go ask.
I don't know what this one is saying. I'm just saying that in the time of trouble, that's when you know who your friends are.
Anyway, talking about DSS have announced the capture of a 6th Owo church attacker. They had said that they found this person in Edo State. Apparently, I didn't even know that thing had been on for like 4 years. This person was hiding away in Edo State. And when you look at Edo State to Ondo State, the distance is not that much. Yeah,
he's been in some village there, just basically cooling his heels. And when his colleagues were arrested, he went under the radar. But of course, they were on him. He didn't know, and they've been patient enough to track him and fish him out. And of course, it is said that he has links to 2 major terror networks. So I think beyond justice for the people of Owo who were massacred during that church service that Sunday morning, I think beyond that, these guys, there has to be a way to extract information
from them going forward.
There has to be, because it was said that there were sleeper cells in Kogi State. We read about that elsewhere and all of that. It's time that they actually, this is resource. When you arrest this type of people, apart from giving them free,
it's not just the immediate
free watery bins,
really?
5-star free watery bins. There are other things that you can give them to encourage them.
Okay.
To speak.
Anyway,
or
please,
sing.
We're moving on from that. We're going to let's just go to a bit of politics so that we can do a bit of sports. Sadly, remember that there was an attack in Edo State yesterday against the ADC. There's been a lot of accusations
back and forth.
The governor has come to condemn the attack. There's now arguments that the governor knows about it because he had told Peter Obi not to come to Edo State. People like Olumide Akpata has come. Apparently, he too was part of that delegation as well. There's been a lot of attack back and forth, but I don't think that at this point it is necessary. In fact, I think I saw also reports where the governor, I think, had talked about how the ADC is increasing or making cultism worse in Edo State and all that. I don't think that putting blame on anybody at this point is necessary.
Until there's more concrete proof and there's more facts. The ADC alleges that it's the APC that sent thugs to shoot at their convoy. They brought out shells and casings of what would usually be in a double barrel gun. And AIT, that is also based in Benin, they have a station in Benin, had actually released a report before Peter Obi's video came out. Peter Obi made a video where he had Akpata and all of them. They had gone to a meeting at the leader, one of their leaders' house, Oyegun. Yeah. And what happened is...
there was drama there, actually.
There are people who said that they are the real and original ADC leaders in Edo, and that they were not invited to that meeting. And they felt aggrieved. And there was a lot of protest outside Oyegun's house. And I watched the protest. I watched the report by AIT. A few media people who were around had already said that there was trouble happening and all of that. But when the Peter Obi them came out, And I don't doubt him. But again, the onus of proof is actually on him now, because now you've accused them and picking out shell casings on the floor. Yeah, that's not enough. You need to come out more and say, oh, we saw this known thug and we know that he works for the APC. And of course, that is how it works. Maybe an Akpata who happens to be an Edo man or an
so there's a lot of conversation. What you're saying is
proof.
now that for because of there was already drama before that meeting.
There was violence. There was fighting, all sorts of things.
So you can't even categorically say it was the APC. It could have been anybody at this point.
Yeah, so the APC on their own part are saying that they have nothing to do with it, and they already had said that these people bring trouble, that wherever they go, there's trouble and all of that. So it's actually very interesting what happened in Edo yesterday. A lot of people are... I've read a lot from both sides of the divide. A lot of Peter Obi supporters are livid with anger, and they're virtually like ready to throw down. And a lot of APC people on the other hand are saying, look within yourselves. You all know where this came from. Some people are even alleging that it was staged. That it's social media that I'm reporting now. Some people are saying, oh, look, it's not going to work. All this trying to rile up people and all of that might have worked at the last elections, but this time around people are wiser. So it's both sides of the divide throwing banter at each other. My prayer now, because let's not be fooled, we have been in election mode since the day Tinubu was sworn in.
Yes, I agree.
And we kept on saying it was too early, but now it's going to overdrive, and we have not seen anything yet. This is Tinubu's election that he won. Tomorrow, I'll be today is 25th, right?
Yeah.
So it makes it 1 year that election was actually held.
Makes it 3 years.
I mean, on that day,
yes.
No, is it 3 or 4? It's probably 3 or 4 years. Yeah, because the following month it was sworn in. So 1 more year, 1.5, 1 more year to go now,
Yes.
Abi. So from that period, we felt the tension. We could feel it was palpable.
Now it's going to...
So we have 1 year to the next election, and it's about to go to overdrive. I'd like to beg Tinubu to speak to his people. Beg Obi. He's never done it, but Obi, speak to your people. Beg Atiku to speak to his people. These are the three major players in Nigeria's polity and politics. Please tone down the violent rhetoric, all because of power.
Anyway, talking about power, in Edo State, the Labour Party governorship candidate for Labour Party for 2024 elections, Olumide Akpata, has now officially defected to the ADC. Is not, I won't say surprising. The only thing for me is that the man really needs to do a lot about politics. After going into the governorship elections and see how woefully he came out of it, I honestly don't think he's going to do any help. He's really doing any help for the ADC at the moment. But I hope that he has branched out and is better off politically, because if this is what he's going to do again, they should forget it, at least in Edo State.
Well, I'm even surprised that he's just making it official. It's always going to be obvious that every Peter Obi person was going to cross to the ADC with him, and everyone knows that they need that numbers, they need the support. It's the quality of the support that matters now. Mm-hmm. It's not just to get everybody to cross over. It's the political value.
What are you going to bring to the table
that they have?
Yeah.
So some will be there for financial reasons. Some will be there for both. And some will be there for the grit and the sheer power that they have, or the muscle that they are bringing. For whatever reason, politics requires that everybody is bringing something to the table. And the ADC needs all the help it can get. Let's see what political value this will do the ADC in Edo State.
Anyway, quickly before we go to sports, Another Nigerian has been arrested in Sierra Leone over drug trafficking. This person was even caught at the airport with some white substance that was now determined that was cocaine. What is wrong with you people? Don't you people... Okay. What is wrong with you people?
I do not know what
Why are you...
Sierra Leone's laws are.
I hope they quickly unalive you and separate you from your body. That's all.
Well, we do not support...
I really hope so.
...violence on this
I'm not supporting
show.
Violence. I'm just saying that their laws, I hope their laws are very steep.
No,
that's
but
all.
That's not what you said before.
That was what it's about.
Thank you for the retraction. So we do not support violence.
I'm not violent.
She's just wearing red. It's not like she's a Shango
I'm
person.
not violent. Excuse me. I'm not violent.
Yeah, well, your words are. Even if you think you use unalive, it's still violence.
You carry yourself from Nigeria. Go to where in the world? How do you get passport to Sierra Leone? Okay, sorry, but
you don't need a passport to Sierra Leone.
Okay, you don't. So
it's West Africa.
So you go the way to
so you just need your own
to go and
Nigerian
embarrass your
West
family
African
members
passport.
because they embarrass Nigeria. You don't embarrass Nigeria. You embarrass yourself and your family members. And like I said, I really hope that their laws are very steep so that they separate you. That's all I can say. Anyway, what happened? Champions League playoffs.
I tried again.
Started yesterday. The second leg started yesterday and is ending today. But I would say that this Champions League has given us drama. Yesterday, first things first, special recognition to Bodo Glimt. They decided, this one, we're not going to give it up without a fight. And indeed they did. Inter Milan, that has been in the Champions League finals for the last 2 or 3 times, I'm not sure exactly, got flogged home and away by Bodo Glimt.
I think the better team won. The power of determination, the fact that they didn't even care about the pedigree or history of Milan.
Oh, they did not. They did not.
They played them like they were playing their mates. And on the day, if you didn't know their names, if you knew the names of both teams, you would have thought maybe it was Barcelona dealing with one small team. I won't mention another team that will make people angry. It's actually the beauty of the Champions League that this type of teams actually
very nice upset.
Make it to that level.
It was a nice upset. Another very interesting game that happened yesterday was Newcastle and Karabakh FK. Now, Karabakh FK leading up to the playoffs had a, they've not, at least for you to get into the playoffs, they didn't have a bad run. They did not have a bad run. I think in between their run, they even defeated Chelsea 3-1. I think at home or something.
That was in the Conference League.
No, it wasn't Conference League. What's that? I don't like what you're doing.
Sorry. It was in the Europa League. It was
Champions League stage. And I know that.
I actually didn't know.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for the correction.
And I know that the conversation was that, Karabakh is not that bad. However, Newcastle decided to show that, yes, they are that bad. Because on aggregate, it was 9-3.
I think Newcastle messed up because they had won the first leg by 6-1 or thereabout. They now played the second leg and they rested players and everything. You see,
they have?
No. I don't roll like that. I'm the kind of coach that goes for records.
But they didn't need the game, literally.
I know. They didn't need the game, but they need the record.
But the players could have gotten injured. There's still a whole lot of games.
Did they get injured? Why do we always have to look at the negative only? What about the positive?
But if you can win the game without playing your major players, why not? I'm
talking about my style.
Okay.
I would put my best team out, and they'll have have a massive 60-minute run at them. Then I start pulling them out. As at that time, it would be like 14-0.
No, nice. Oh God, you are not a nice person.
I am not when it comes to coaching football. I am not.
It was quite interesting as well. Also, Atletico Madrid Club Brugge played 3-3 at home to Atletico Madrid, and thought they were coming to Atletico Madrid to put up a fight. However, Atletico Madrid said, nope.
One-way traffic.
Not today.
I saw that game largely.
We're not doing this.
And I was looking out for Demola. Eventually, I saw him.
He didn't start the game actually.
I saw him eventually, and he popped up with an assist and all of that. But shout out to the hat-trick man himself, Sola. No. It was a masterclass.
It was a masterclass as they flogged Club Brugge 4-1. Very interesting game. I think Leverkusen has now won.
I have a piece of advice for UEFA.
What?
Your Europa Cup and your Conference League are dying. People are really not watching or talking about it. We like the new Champions League format, but at this stage, the teams that drop out, maybe you should let them go and join Europa. It used to bring a lot of attention to Europa.
People will now follow those teams.
Picture
to Europa.
Juventus, Inter Milan.
Juventus is still going to play today. Now you've already written them off.
They will drop.
Wow.
They will drop. Gala will beat them. Gala will qualify.
But they've not even played.
Okay, let's wait.
I'll come back.
I'll come back.
It is live.
We'll come back tomorrow for me to say what I was saying. I'm just advising.
People are wicked though.
I'm just advising.
You have not played and they've already written you off.
Okay.
Juventus, they have written you off, even though there's already a 5-2 aggregate.
Okay.
We have not even played second leg. In fact, at this point, Gala just needs to
only
park the bus.
8% of teams that have been in this situation have been able to turn it around. 8, not 80, 8.
We'll see where that is going to go. Atalanta and Dortmund. I don't think that Atalanta is going to do anything, but it's football.
Shout out to Dortmund. We don't really care about Atalanta in this place.
PSG Monaco. I think the last game too was 3-2. So PSG really needs to have a lot of work.
At least it's staying in France. Whatever happens, one French team will make it. To the next round.
So PSG still needs their work. That has their work cut out for them, as well as Real Madrid and Benfica. That game ended 1-0 in favor of Real Madrid. Now they need to do more, because right now if Benfica scores just one goal. However, there was a lot of controversy about
this game. It's going to be more about racism than anything.
Yeah, what the player
said.
Yeah, he's been suspended off this game pending investigation. I know a lot of people.
I think that suspension was to protect him.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation about maybe he himself has said he didn't say what he said. My only argument with it is, if you did not say anything untoward, why did you cover your face?
The thing that he said he didn't say, that he said, did you know what it was? It's homophobic. You're saying you did not say something racist, but he said something homophobic, and that's a defense. So
at this point, I think that I was even reading it that FIFA was talking about how it's probably going to be a rule now. They're looking at it into a rule that players, when they're only when they're talking to their teammates, are allowed to cover their mouths and all that. So, but their coach is also not going to be there. And I also read that Real Madrid is not also taking Kylian Mbappe for his constant knee injury as well. It's going to be.
It's just going to be all about racism.
Yeah, it is going to be a lot. It is going to be a lot. That game is going to be a lot. But after today's game, there will be draws. I think the draws are going to be on Friday, so everybody now knows who's playing, and then we're finally back to normal Champions League football, because these playoffs, I'm tired.
And a big shout out to the Premier League, regardless of what people say, to have this number of teams qualify.
First time, all the 6 teams that got in, and I think that it's safe to say that they deserved those 5 spots they got, with Tottenham coming from Europa. They've made good use of those spots, and with the way they're going, if they do well, that spots might actually increase to 6. So we'll see. Anyway, on that note, that is all we will take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the Boom Bar. Do have a beautiful day ahead.
Peace.